Here comes a right.
Boom, right on the...
Oh, it's the scrape as well.
Oh, no, that's a punch.
Now you know good gosh dang well that was definitely a punch.
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? It's your boy Dr. Boxing Talk, back for another YouTube video banger, man. Yes sir, yes ma'am. I know what time it is. The doctor's in the house, man, so check this out, man. Like I said, we had a good weekend of fights, man. Like I said also in the past video, if you didn't check it out, go check it out with Puma Martinez and Kazuto Ioka, my reaction to that. You know, we had a pretty good weekend of boxing, man. You know, they weren't really high profile combatants, you know, they weren't very popular, you know, especially in the smaller divisions, but there were good fights, you know, unlike what we got last weekend. So we had Kazuto Ioka taking on Puma Martinez, you know, for his WBA belt in a rematch. That was a great fight. You know, then we had Arjuro Holmes and Erickson Lubin. That was a great fight for a title eliminator to see who gets Bakar Murtazali. But Erickson Lubin won that, right, by stopping Arjuro Holmes. And then not to mention this fight right here for the WBO title at 130, Emanuel Navarrete versus Charly Suarez. So we had the Mexican champion defending his WBO belt against the undefeated Filipino contender in Charly Suarez. And man, it was a good fight, man, but unfortunately we didn't get to finish it. You know, it didn't, right when it was getting to the climax, it was over. You know, the doctor called a stoppage to the fight and they cited it was due to a headbutt. And that just was not a headbutt, man. That's not what went down, man. That was definitely a cut that was sustained for sure. A nasty cut, a deep cut, but it was due to a punch, man. Charly Suarez cleaned his top.
No, did he?
You know, and it's unfortunate because we did go to the scorecards, and at the time I had Navarrete winning 4-3. So I'm not mad at that, right? It's not a robbery due to the scorecards because I think that they had the scorecards right at the time of the stoppage, with Emanuel Navarrete barely winning. However, it is a robbery because of the reason that was cited for it to be stopped. If it was going to be stopped due to the cut, then obviously Charly Suarez should have won by TKO stoppage in the 8th round because the cut happened due to a punch. And if the punch causes the fight to be stopped, then that means the person that inflicted the damage should be rewarded as the victor, you know. But unfortunately, I feel bad for Charly Suarez because, like I said, he's what? The Filipino fighter. He's undefeated. That's a terrible way to get your first L. But more importantly than that, he's what, 36 years old?
Damn. I'm sorry.
Which is not old in life, but as a top contender, this is pretty much now or never for him, you know. And so that just kind of sucks, man, because he fought his behind off, and so did Emanuel Navarrete. Both gentlemen did. But, you know, Charly Suarez, I feel like he was done an injustice. But once again, I want to be very clear. Let's normalize not blaming the fighters. It's not Emanuel Navarrete's fault that he was a beneficiary of a robbery or the fact that they got the call wrong. He's just a fighter, man. He's just, at the end of the day, he's just fighting his behind off, you know, and so is Charly Suarez. But I want to be very clear on this, though, right? They missed the call. So I want to see just as much uproar as people were mad at Tank. They blamed Tank for the referee missing the call and, you know, the infamous knee due to the love, peace, and hair grease. You know, it wasn't Tank's fault. He should have lost the points, of course, because he took a knee. You should be deducted the points accordingly. But people were acting like it's the fighter's fault. It's rarely ever the fighter's fault. Like I said, fighters fight, judges judge, and officials officiate. So let's get that very clear right now. You know, it's not Emanuel Navarrete's fault, nor is it Charly Suarez's fault, nor was it Lamont Roach's fault, nor was it Gervonta Tank Davis's fault, regardless of how you may feel personally. You know what I'm saying? Get out your feelings and emotions and judge things objectively. You know what I'm saying? Keep your common sense and your wits about you, or else you look incompetent and idiotic. I'm just being honest, you know. But like I said, shout out to Charly Suarez. There is some good news, though. There's some silver lining, right? They are discussing to potentially call it a no contest. I think that'll be the proper course of action. However, I don't think that's going to happen. You only see no contest when there's some type of banned substance involved. Like with Keyshawn Davis, he was just on marijuana, which is not a performance enhancing drug. It's not a steroid. But in the state of Texas, where he fought Nahir Albright, marijuana is a banned substance. It's on the banned substance list. So once he tested positive for marijuana after winning against Nahir Albright, he was scored a majority decision win. It was changed to a no contest because the test came back that he had marijuana in the system. And again, in the state of Texas, that is not allowed, right? So it's turned into a no contest. And obviously, more famously, the last no contest that we saw was Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney, when Ryan Garcia cheated.
We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all.
By having 60 times the allowable limit of ostarine in his system, which is a performance enhancing drug, which is why his victory, his decision victory, was turned into a no contest, so rightfully so. So because of that, usually when we see mistakes and blunders, like even with Gervonta Tank Davis outscored a draw, they didn't go back and change the score, right? Because of a referee made a mistake. So this time the doctor made a mistake. Well, he didn't make a mistake. The doctor stopped it. That was right. But the referee made a mistake by calling it the wrong thing. He thought it was due to a headbutt, which is okay because they had previous head clashes in the fight with Navarrete and Suarez. So he thought it was another head clash, but it was actually a punch. So since it was a referee's mistake, I don't anticipate them to change it to a no contest. However, there is some good news still. Carl Moretti, who's Top Rank's vice president, he said that a rematch will be underway. So at least Charly Suarez will have an opportunity to redeem himself, but it's still a little bittersweet because that was a hard fight for both of them, man, especially Charly Suarez. There were some times where he was getting walloped, and there were some times when Emanuel Navarrete was getting walloped. But, you know, there's no telling if he could put on another performance like that. We'll see, you know, and shout out to him. He was strong. Both fighters were strong. So at least he'll get the opportunity to do so. But, you know, right now he has an L, and he unfortunately lost his title opportunity, because if he could have won the title and then ran it back for a rematch, then he would have had more leverage and ultimately received more money in the rematch than he will as coming in as a contender and a challenger again. But it is what it is. Sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. But I just want to salute Charly Suarez and Emanuel Navarrete both for a great fight. But I do think that Charly Suarez was robbed out of an opportunity to not only remain undefeated, but also be a WBO champion at 130-pound division right now. You know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know what y'all think about that, man. Y'all take care of yourselves. Remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. Don't forget to smack that like button for your boy. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.